In addition to the monthly investment summary statement you receive from Focus Planning Group that I produce for you every month and get sent over to you around the first of the month via email, you will also receive a statement from the custodian that Focus Planning Group has chosen to work with, which is Charles Schwab. Some of the reasons why we love Charles Schwab: I've had a relationship with Schwab going back almost 10 years now. They are the industry leader in technology, cybersecurity protection. They have an amazing website for our clients to walk through. They have an amazing app which works awesome. Their transaction fees are, if not the lowest, one of the lowest in the industry. So you will get a generated statement from Charles Schwab each month. That can be delivered to you via in the mail, or you can get an email with a link that says, hey, you have a statement ready, click on the link to view it. That's how we recommend our clients receive our statements, is via e-delivery. When our clients receive statements e-delivery, they are able to participate in a lower transaction fee cost structure if transaction fees apply to any investments that are bought and sold. However, we do have some clients that say, Joe, I still like getting that paper statement in the mail, and I totally get that. You can still sign up for it that way as well. The transaction fees are a little bit more expensive, but we'll go through that if that's the case. So today what I want to do is just walk you through what your monthly statement looks like, whether you're viewing it on your iPad or you're going to the mailbox and opening it and checking it out. So with no further ado, here we go. Okay, so when you open up your statement, you're going to see page 1 here. This is a sample statement that Schwab generates for these exact instances. So our statements are going to be similar. I customize them to what I think is important. This statement is the closest that I can find to sort of show that. So we'll go through it and I'll show you the way that it works. It's pretty similar. So up top, you're going to see the account registration and name. You're going to see your account number, statement period. They run on, monthly periods. So this one is June 1st through the 30th. This statement just has a sample date of 2014. You're going to have a market monitor here, which shows you different rates, what the rates are yielding for a money market fund, a 6-month T-bill, and a treasury bill of a 30-year. You'll also see indices of what they've done year to date. So you have the Dow Jones, the S&P, the Schwab, and the NASDAQ. It's kind of similar to our investment monthly statement here with the indices. Here again is this is going to be my information here. So you would see Joseph Carbone, Focus Planning Group, 982 Montauk Highway, Suite 4, Bayport, New York, 11705, our phone number, and then it tells you who to call for questions. You wouldn't see this here because we don't use third-party managers. We make and build our own models, and then you have a nice table of content, and you'll see my wonderful, beautiful Crest Focus Planning Group logo down here on the bottom. Page 2. This is kind of busy, and that's why we produce our monthly statement. So you'll see here, this period and year to date. This period, you'll have a change in account value for this period. This period means this period. So when you look at the statement period up here, it's always going to be for the month. So it's going to be for June 1st through June 30th of 2014. You'll have a starting value, and then you'll have all different accounting items. What I'd like to point out is something that's important to note, why these statements become confusing sometimes, is when Schwab or other custodians produce statements, they're an accounting ledger. So sometimes they're not as easy to read and understand, and you look through them sometimes and you're like, hey, I have no idea what the heck this is trying to tell me. Well, if that happens, which it happens to all of us, sometimes it takes me 3 and 4 times to read through those to really understand where the line items are coming from. However, if that happens and you get confused, that's why you're paying me. Pick up the phone, give me a shout, we'll go over it. Happy to do that for our clients. So you go through here, you'll see, changes in investment values, any deposits or withdrawals, dividends and interest, fees and charges, transfers, things like that. You'll have an ending value. Then you also have accrued income. Those are for clients that actually own individual bonds, whether it's municipal bonds or corporate bonds or CDs. There's such a thing called accrued income, where you have income that's been credited that, depending if it pays on a 6-month basis, if you're 3 months into the coupon, you have 3 months built up. So you'll see that. Then you'll have a total account value. Then you'll have an asset composition, which is a breakdown of what your assets are in, whether it's cash, money markets, fixed income, equities, bonds, other assets, etc. You'll have these statements are not performance reporting, so you'll just have a change in account value. A little nice pie chart. Over here too is basically this asset composition information broken down, and they'll have a gain loss summary. Page 3 here, the next page here, and it says on the bottom, you'll see here 3 of 21. I took out the pages that I thought were important to go over. Otherwise, you'd be hearing me talk for about an hour, which I know no one wants to do, including my wife. So you'll see this here. You'll see income summary, deposit account interest, money market, federally tax exempt, federally taxable. Certain types of investments can be tax exempt from federal, state, and local, where others, any income that's generated is going to be taxable to you depending on whether it's a short-term gain or a long-term capital gain. Then you have a year-to-date. Then you'll have a year-to-date here. You have margin loan information if there's any margin. You go to the next page here, you'll have more of investment details, how much is broken down into the different cash accounts, money market accounts here. Quantity, this is always going to be, the quantity and the market value for these things are always going to be pretty similar at a 1%, at a $1 market price. So when you have $44,854.08, like in this example, money market accounts are pretty much, and cash accounts are always priced right around $1. So the market value is always going to equal what the quantity is. The current yield is nowhere near 4.87% like it's showing here. In today's environment, it's more along 0.001%, as we all know. So that's this page. Now, if this page here, we would go to investment details. If you own individual stocks, which some of my clients do, you'll come here and you'll see the quantity of American manufacturing. You'll see the symbol, which is ANM plus M. The quantity is the number of shares that you own, which is the market price that it's currently trading as. The market price that's generated here is the price that it's trading as of the last market price as of the statement date period. Then you'll have a market value, which is $15,600. And the market value is bold, which basically means what is your investment worth. Then you have cost basis, which is how much you put into the investment. Percentage of account assets, which is what percentage this $15,600 represents for the total account value. Unrealized gain loss is a fancy way of saying how much money have I made or lost in this investment. Estimated yield is the dividend or yield that's generating, and then you have an annual income period. So you'll go through here, and then they'll total it up. So these are for individual stocks or exchange traded funds will look similar to this. If you go here, you'll go to a mutual fund page here, which again, you'll have the name of the fund. Here we have income fund, the symbol, the ticker. Quantity, 7,000 quantity. Market price, that's the market value. Percentage of account assets. Average cost basis, this is a little bit different because it's mutual funds. But again, at the end of the day, you can say, hey, my investment into this was $300,650. It's worth $512,000. I have a $211,000 gain. And then you'll see it's broken down between bond funds and equity funds and similar information here as well. Okay, so we go to the next page here. We have a transaction details, which is basically telling us any activity that went on during the account during, that period that month of June, in this example of 2014. You can see here that on 6/16, the trade settled and the trade date was 6/11. We had some reinvested shares here. And you can see here we bought some bonds, sold some bonds, had some interest payments. And then we go down here to equities. You'll see that we sold 125 shares at $210 spot 67 cents. And that was the total amount. That's transaction details pages. Again, we'll have some more information. Also, Schwab, which is another amazing thing about Schwab, is it gives us the opportunity to have the accounts with free checking, free debit cards. It works really well if you want to use it as a separate bank account as well. If that's the case, let me know. We can set it up, but I can show you the way to do that. So you'll see here any deposits and withdrawals. Then here, the next page here, even though our investment monthly summary does a much better job of breaking down the investment fees that were paid to me for managing your money, it's also a line item here from a deduction from your account showing, hey, there was a management fee to the advisor for $70. And then you have more transaction details here with any transfers or things like that. So this is the Schwab statement. Again, this gets generated to you monthly. You can get it in the mail, or you can get it e-delivery, where you get a link that you have to log into your Schwab account. Incidentally, all this information is on schwab.com or on your Schwab app, so you can go in there and get greater detail. You can also go in there and archive any past statements. So this is what our Charles Schwab statement looks like for our investment clients.